Everybody. It would help if I plugged in my microphone. Let me know if you could see my screen and hear my voice. Good morning, good morning. And a couple of really nice trades here on the NASDAQ. I got gold short on my Apex. I'm going to move this down just a touch. And that was the market open. And retirement plan, the 2-minute NASDAQ got that full winner. And the haymaker. Good morning, good morning. Let me just check my audio. Hey, Ralph. Good morning. So I'm in a short position on gold right now. And what I'm going to do is I put on my Apex account the ES Signal A AI drone. And that's account number 6. And my 2-minute retirement plan is on account number 4. And gold is on 3. Gold's giving me a little heat right now. Hopefully it continues down. And you know what? Our hottest strategy has been that YM, I believe. Let me check my results here. Yeah, more Mondays, Tuesdays. I just was really busy yesterday. Let's get together today. Let me try to see the the YM10 range signal B. So I'm going to create a new strategy. I'm going to load the YM10 range signal B. And we'll put it in account 5. YM. going to also put that one in 3, I think. Okay. So here's how we looked so far this morning, with our top strategy being the AI, the 2-minute on the NASDAQ. Now I jumped into that long position on the Dow on my Apex account. And it's about to jump into that short trade on the NASDAQ. I could, up top right. Jump right back into gold too. So with this, the market, the way it's been ranging lately, I'll tell you, I'm really thinking about, if I get a little wiggle room here, is to drag my stops and lock in some profits today. Yesterday I kind of let them ride, and it was kind of a ranging market. Let's see if we can break through this area here on the NASDAQ. Got some nice trades and got a position on the Dow, gold, and the NASDAQ. I'm going to take the risk off of the NASDAQ. I'm hoping to get to about 80 ticks here, my stop. There we go. Come on down. Let's give it a little room. That's it. Come on down. Okay. Well, my profit goal is 500. And all right, I'm going to take account 4 off. On the NASDAQ, account 4 is off. Okay, great. So I'm going to put this back to the retirement plan strategy. I'm just trying to get 500 on my Apex accounts today. And yesterday, the market's just been a little ranging. And if I hit my profit target, I'm going to take the money. I'm not going to let it come back on me today like I did yesterday. So let's go back to the Signal A AI bot. Which is still in a trade. I'd be in this trade. YM's been a hot strategy. That's why I played that one, just because of the historical data. It's one of our hottest strategies. The Dow Diamond on that Signal B, it runs on a 10 range. Signal A would have been a really nice entry. What I mean by Signal A would have been a nice entry, this blue line, the RSI line of my oscillator, once it broke through that 20, it would have jumped in long here. I got in a little later because I'm using a Signal B entry, which is really an entry that triggers on the to follow into the trend, same direction as the trend, the market internals entry. We'll let that one mature. And look at that. And the retirement plan, I'll tell you, that trading something else, ain't it? Yesterday it kept jumping back at me. Today, had I left it alone, and I'll tell you, that's the way it works. But okay, I'm happy with my 500 on my account. That 30 range is looking good for a short position. Let's see what kind of positions we're in here. YM, Russell, and gold. Yeah, Kim, I saw that. It looks like it was down a little bit. like they're pushing the price of the NASDAQ down lower. I'm in two long positions, one on gold and one on the Dow. I was kind of hoping to get into this E-mini. I just missed it though. That RSI line just didn't come up high enough for me. There's the 30 range signal A on the NASDAQ. Oh, let's take a look at, let's take a quick look at Forex Factory. I think this NASDAQ is going to roll to the downside here. Wednesday, March 20th. Yeah, today is FOMC day at 2 p.m. Yeah. Historically, on days like today, it's a choppy market. This gold trade is looking nice. These are the hot strategies so far today. The 2-minute signal A AI bot. The 30 range signal B. The 30 range signal B goes with the trend. That one scored big. The signal A AI bot and drone are out there. Retirement plan is also the 2-minute NASDAQ. So far, those are the hot strategies this morning. I've traded gold. I got a small winner on gold. I have some unrealized profits now. and we're in this position on the Dow. At 30 range, took that short. Let's see if it get enough room. Make this roll and head straight down. I'd love to see that. FOMC today is at 2 o'clock. Economic projections, statement, and the press conference. Crude oil inventories at 10:30. Keep an eye on crude oil today. Price of crude been going up. Crude oil 10:30. Crude oil inventory. Is there a way to get in sync? Hey, good morning, Walter. Let me read your question. Is there a way to get in sync? That's a good question, Walter. I'm going to ask Charles to help me out on that. When you say in sync, I'm assuming that you mean is there a way to get in sync with an active position, or must the current trade be closed before the bot takes an entry? Really not sure, Walter. And are both positions going to be running on the same account? So you're in a let me talk my way through this. Say the NQ30, okay. So you have an active position on your account, and you want to know if the bot can take a trade while you're in an active position on the same account. Is that correct? There's Charles. Well, this gold trade is maturing nicely. Let's take a closer look at this gold trade here. Signal B, AI drone. Let's take a look at that signal B. I kind of like the signal B today only because the market's trending down right now. Let's put this back. Keep an eye on that NASDAQ on the signal B. Took a long trade. Oh no. Oh. The bot's feeling that shift to momentum right now. Wow. This gold trade's really moving up nicely. I don't want to squeeze it too tight. I am looking to make 500, so with my profit goal in mind, I'm going to be conservative today. I'm not going to let these trades come all the way back. Still haven't been able to find an entry on the ES, so I'm thinking maybe to switch that one around. This Signal AI bot has been doing really well. And I think the next trade it makes, if it goes up a little bit higher, it's going to be a roll to the downside. And that's the one I'd like to jump into. Alright, I'm going to take it off of number 3. Let's go back to the gold signal A. That gold has been a really good strategy. The gold signal A is really in the same position that I was just in. I kind of squeezed mine because I was right up to my profit target. Excuse me just for a moment. I got to run to the restroom. Okay, sorry about that. We got crude oil inventory coming up at, look at that. And it did go on to, gold did go to hit that profit target all the way. So squeezing it was another mistake. So the hands-free approach, even though yesterday it didn't work work out well, today is a whole other story. I just saw 2 trades today that I squeezed that would have become full winners. Gold is headed to the moon here. Oh, this is account 3. I'm very tempted to close this position because my account 3, I've already hit my profit target on. Let's see where the accounts are. Yeah, my account 3 is at 700. And my account 4 is at 5. 3, 4, so I need account 6. Oh. Maybe we'll play account 6 for the crude oil inventory. The gold signal B is just crushing it today. The gold signal B is having a huge day. The signal A is trying to catch a reversal, but that market's just, gold is just headed up. Our retirement plan just jumped back in short. Taking a little heat right now. But if this one gets some room, I'm going to take the gold signal B, put it on number 6. So I kind of like the way gold is moving up. I'm going to try and get into a long position here on it. find out where it just went. Okay. I'm going to try to let the Dow keep running, but I'm going to trail it pretty tightly. Want to lock in those profits without strangling it to death. NASDAQ's looking for some room. I'll tell you, if that NASDAQ gets some daylight here, it might just find its way all the way to the bottom. It's a bit choppy at the moment. Let's see what's going on with gold. I took the signal B on my Apex 6. So I'm looking for a long position here. You could see gold today. It's really launched. Still in a long position on the Dow. And the NASDAQ has found a little bit of daylight here. My stop just moved to break even, plus 11. So the worst case scenario, we make $55 on the trade. Best case scenario, we make 900. And we got crude oil at 10:30. Maybe we'll trade. Maybe we'll put one of the accounts on crude oil. We'll take a look at that chart here in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to disable my Dow Diamond 10 range. Let me go to my strategies and let me find that Apex account on the Dow Diamond. Dow Diamond 3, it's off. Okay. Yeah. So it did hit the profit target on Apex 3 was 700. That one's really close to becoming a PA account. Let me see where it's at. It's right around 52,000. It's a $50,000 account. Just under 52,000. Number 3. Let's take a look at crude oil. We got crude oil inventory coming out at 10:30. It's trading for about 81.25 per barrel. Let's just look at it on a 30-minute here, just for a second. On a 30-minute chart, going back to March 16th. It's been headed up. Now it's headed down. So the overall trend on crude right now is headed down. So NQ, these are the accounts here. These are the strategies that are doing the best. I don't have crude oil on my radar. The 2-minute AI bot is at 11.59 after commissions. Signal B NQ 30 range is at 800. Gold, the AI bot and drone are at 683, and they're still they're in this position here long, I imagine. 2-minute signal A AI drone. So the ES and crude oil are nowhere today, or the Russell. It looks like crude oil's in a position. A short position on the AI drone. Let's take a look at that trade. Let's take a look at that entry, Walter. The long signal B on gold. Let's go back to gold for a second. Hey, good morning, doctor. Hope you have a blessed day today, sir. And the signal B entry on, I think that was on my Apex 3 account. I think this is the entry that you're asking me about. With the long signal B on, was the entry above the 50? No, the entry was below the 50. Good question, huh? Signal B. The signal B it does not have the 15 and 50 conditions. The 15 does not have to be above the 50 on that signal B entry. So it is a signal B entry, but Let me see if I might have traded a signal A. Looking at the RSI line, that sure looks like a signal A entry. Let me see which one I was trading, Walter. On the signal B entry, let's go to the gold signal B. This way we can't get it wrong. Signal B. Okay, here's the signal B long entry. So the entry was above the 50 on the signal B. The one I initially showed was actually a signal A entry. So the signal B got in a little bit later, and it was above the 50. And the RSI was locked. So the RSI line was locked. The price relation to, and in this situation, because of the way we have the conditions and the strategy, it wouldn't have mattered because we're not using it as a filter. We're not using the 50 as a condition in our signal B strategy. So as long as it's locked, regardless of where you are in relation to the 50, it'll take an entry with the current settings, Walter. That's a good question. We used to, a more conservative strategy would wait for the cross, the 15 to cross the 50. And that is one of the conditions that we can enable in our strategy parameters. This one did wait for the RSI line to be pinned, and it just so happened to be above the 50. Let me try to get this straightened back out here. So we were going to play the crude oil report at 10:30. So let me get back over to the crude oil. Dow Diamonds. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the signal A on crude instead of the signal B. Well, we could do it either way. So I'm going to build a new strategy. And I already took the signal A, the signal B, and now I'm going to put it on the signal A. See if we can get an entry on this report. Might be a big mover. I'm going to put it on the MCL on the signal A. I'm going to trade 5 micros. So I'm going to trade the signal A on the micro crude and the signal B on the full-size contracts. And we'll see what happens when this report comes out. So we're going to look for to catch a move on crude oil at 10:30 for the crude oil report. I've got the one entry on the micro crude, and I've got one entry on the full contract crude. ES has been very quiet today. Yesterday it had a big day. That's kind of how that ES trades. It's a pretty conservative strategy. It really only trades maybe a couple of trades a day. That's about it. And it's not unusual for it to hold a position for an hour or two. So the report comes out in about 4 minutes. In the meantime, the haymaker just took a trade long. I'll show you that, Walter, in the strategy parameters. I'll open them up in just a few. And after this crude oil report comes out, I'll open up the strategy parameters and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. But the trigger of the signal B is, that RSI line does have to be pinned. That's a really good indication that institutional money is manipulating that market. They've got skin in the game. And that's really the premise of this system, is with our signal B entry, is we want to follow in the direction of institutional money. And that's one of the things that it does look at. There's a few different things that it looks at, but that's one of them. And then one of the conditions that we can, some people call them filters, some people call them conditions, but another condition, if the trigger's met, then we have in place filters or conditions, one of them being the moving averages. That signal A on crude oil is very close to hitting if it pops. So we can, we can make these super conservative strategies, or we can loosen them up, and we can make them more assertive or more aggressive. And I'll go through the conditions of the strategy. And we have a really great video There's actually two training videos. One is the module 1 really goes through each parameter of the strategy and what it means and what it does. And then module 2 shows you how to build your own and optimize the inputs to get the best entries. We developed a really great indicator. It's called the Signal A. And I'll show you a little bit more about that. I'll put the video, a link for the videos in the chat box here in just a second. Let's see what comes out on the crude oil, what happens with the crude oil. It looks like it just hit. Wow. It's so fast. I didn't even see it. Okay, it looks like it took an entry. I didn't even see it hit. I thought my signal A should be in the trade, but it looks like it wicked me out very fast on that report. That's the risk of trading a report with the volatility. It took that signal A entry and it must have thrown a wick and stopped me out very quickly. Not much movement on the report. Kind of a dud. That's okay though, because we can get it into something a little more exciting. So you could really see the difference between the signal A and the signal B. The signal A on the NASDAQ up here is looking for a roll down and to get into a short trade. The RSI line would come and break through the 80, headed down, and it would take a short position. Where the signal B jumped in this long trade in the direction of the trend, and it's looking to hit a profit target that's up here. I tell you, that crude oil trade happened so fast, I didn't even see it. Let's see if we get this roll to the downside. Yeah, it took our micro trade just now. So I'm going to disable the other one. Now let's see what happens. Yeah. The other one took it. Oh, it was the micro that took the trade the first time. That's why I didn't see it. Okay. That makes sense. I'm going to try to jump in this short roll on the NASDAQ on this same account. Let's put it on the 6 real quick. So we got into this short trade here on crude. Playing the report. And I'm trading 5 micros. And it just now popped in to this short on the NASDAQ. So we'll see what happens with these 2 trades here on account 6. Got a lot of support to the downside on the NASDAQ. Crude oil's moving nicely down. Let me come on down just a little bit on this one. Come on. Come on, breakthrough there. Got a little bit of support here on the NASDAQ. See if we can push our way through. Volume's a little lower than I would like on the NASDAQ. We're under 1,000 contracts a minute. That's typical on these FOMC days. It's just low volume and it chops around on us. With my profit target being 500. Between these two positions, I'm very close. But I do have the potential for it to be a great day, Right now it's either going to be a good day or a great day. So those are two good options. It's testing that area. I don't want to squeeze it too tight. Come on, push through. Push on through. Ah. The crude trade might save me. Ah. Oh, we got a decent trade on crude oil. We traded the micros, and we got that nice move down. The one that we missed that I didn't see was this long entry, and it hit our stop. The short entry, we got a nice move down. Okay. We are green on, we did make some nice money on the Apex accounts today. 710 on one, 495 on the other, and 208. And we still have the strategies enabled. That thing rolls to the short side now. I'm gonna be sick. Gold. Gold has just been crushing it lately. That Signal AI drone. This morning, pre-market, I put it on that Apex account on this strategy. I just like the way it's been moving. And I got my profit target and stopped, but it continued to really do very well. And there it goes to the short side. Hindsight's always 20/20. Listen, I say it in every one of my webinars. That I have a bad habit of sabotaging my own trading and squeezing stops. And yesterday I kind of sat on my hands and it didn't work out well, and today I went back to squeezing the stops. So I did leave quite a bit of money on the table. But like I said yesterday, you never go broke closing winning trades. I did want to show Walter the this gold trade, amazing. Isn't that beautiful entry, huh? That signal A, just caught that reversal. Just riding it home. I had one of our members send me his results for gold, and he's just up an enormous amount of money on gold. His retirement plan and gold are, they must be up combined anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 in the last month or two. Looks like the Russell jumped in now. I see my open positions. I'm in another crude, micro crude trade on the Apex 6. I wonder if it caught it to the upside. Yeah. Got in that signal A entry. Riding it back up. I'm going to actually put a link, and I've put this link in the room before, but Walter, this link has 2 videos on it, module 1 and 2, on how to build your own ATM machine, your own automated trading strategy. And I highly recommend checking out these videos. So I put the link in the chat box there. Those are two modules, Walter, that I think would be really helpful for you. It shows the triggers. We have two triggers, the signal A and signal B entries. And then module number 1 is going to discuss all of the conditions that you can enable, all the filters that you can enable that will be your rules for entry. And then module 2 is going to discuss how to optimize those inputs for each one of the conditions in order to get the best entries. It's not for everybody. If you're one of those people that doesn't want to get under the hood and tinker around with all of the settings and inputs, and doesn't appeal to everybody, then it probably wouldn't appeal to you. But if you are one of those people that like to get under the hood and tinker around with it, then those modules are for you for sure. Well, my signal A jumped back in on the NASDAQ, and with FOMC day today, I'm really going to squeeze my Apex account kind of tight because let's face it, the market is kind of in chop. It's not moving very well. So I'm going to take the risk off this trade while I can and just hope I get a bounce. If I can get this account up to 500 today, it would be wonderful. That's my goal. It'll be interesting to see what happens after the report. I know Mark Miller traded one of the FOMC reports and made thousands of dollars. The risk goes up too. It becomes very volatile. You can make a lot of money quickly, but potentially it could be the flip side too. So there are no guarantees. Come on. I've taken all the risk off of this trade on the NASDAQ, so if it stops me out, it'll be a break even. Hopefully it gets some breathing room and can mature to the upside. Good question, Jan. There is a quick start video, yes. Also, as soon as you, if you do decide to come aboard, you place your order, you'll also get instant access to our Discord chat group where there's really a ton of resources, videos. You're in communication with our entire community of traders as well as our staff. And let me tell you, the system really does give you an edge. Let me tell you, to be able to get these entries on what is it? 6 different instruments at once. And just get into the entries that are, being influenced by institutional money at just the right times. It gives you the potential every day to put money in the bank. We did it today on a number of different instruments with very little risk. You have the potential to really make some really nice money. Today happens to be the FOMC day at 2 o'clock today. Historically, the market is difficult. It's not an easy market to trade on these days. But we've managed to do extremely well. And trust me, it's not because I'm a good trader. I'm probably the worst trader out of all of us. But the system can make you really look like you know what you're doing. So to answer your question, Jan, the answer is yes. Absolutely. So that long entry is on the NASDAQ is starting to look better and better. The trade that I should be in right now is this AI drone, Signal A. Had I not squeezed it, this is what I'd be looking at right now. And my micro crude trade is still alive. Look at that. I've done that twice on the NASDAQ today. See if we're in any positions on the YM or long. Oh, this NASDAQ trade. Ay. We're going to trade for about 10 more minutes to 11:15. See if we can take a look at this Dow trade. Dow Diamond. The Dow has been, again, I'll say it again, has been our hottest strategy. Surprisingly, let's see here. Let me see if I can get it on the trade that it's in. My mouse has kind of been sticking. Let's see, the Dow. It's actually in on the signal A. So some really nice trades today. Really, in spite of myself, I've done pretty good for the 3 accounts that I've traded. Managed to get them all green, but you could see how I've left a lot of money on the table. Especially on these 2-minute NASDAQ trades. I'm really kicking myself. I closed out a full winner earlier that would have went on to become a full winner. I closed it out early. And I also closed this trade out by squeezing my stop. And I went back to what I do is instead of changing my account on the on the strategy that we run on the sim account, I build a duplicate as to not skew the data. So had I not squeezed the stop, I would be in this same position that you see on this NASDAQ chart here. With FOMC, my thinking was that the market's going to be choppy and ranging, and I would get chopped to pieces. So I let that fear get in my way. Those emotional errors that we make, my own biases and assumptions, prevented me from staying in this trade. And the one previous on the 2-minute NASDAQ, had I just let it run, would have been a full winner. I wouldn't have even needed to worry about getting another entry. Jan, the getting started video, the quick start video, is a recording of how to install the system and enable the strategies. I don't really, there's really no use in sharing that until you've ordered the system. I don't think you would need to know how to install it. We also developed a tool. If you do decide to place your order, I highly, highly recommend letting our team share your screen and use this tool, because it turns an hour installation into a 2-minute installation. That micro crude is coming back on me, giving me some heat. And the Dow Diamond is drifted up right into that profit target, along with the NASDAQ. So you can see these positions that I'm currently in. Got some really nice positions on the NASDAQ, gold, and YM. Looks like the ES finally took a trade. So the 2-minute retirement plan got a little room now. It separated itself from that stop, and it's trying to drift on up, trying to get a stiff breeze and blow on up through that profit target. It's got a little wind in its sails now. So there's really no smoke and mirrors here. You could see how the system performed today. It did extremely well. You could see the RSI line broke through that 80% line on my micro crude. So it took another short position on this roll to the short side. Been a little choppy on crude oil today, with exception to that one move down right around the time that the report came out. We were able to pick up a couple $100 on this move down. Since then, it's kind of went back into consolidation here. Maybe we'll get another break to the downside. But the two videos, Jan, that I put into the chat, those really are the ones that provide the most information. Really valuable information that I think you would need to know to have some confidence in what you're doing, running our system. Because if you know all of the inputs of all the strategies and you familiarize yourself with that information, it's really the information you need to be successful. Not that you really need to know a lot. The system all comes in pre-formatted templates. Your chart templates, your strategy templates, the workspace, everything is pre-formatted. There's no guesswork. What I've run today is what comes right out of the box. No adjustments. You could see my stop with very little risk. I have the potential to make some really nice money. If we get some movement and some follow through here to the downside, you know, I have the potential to make a 5-6 to 1 risk versus reward on that crude oil position, and really on all of our strategies. That's really how we develop them. Let's see how that ES trade is working out. The ES is on the AI drone. We got the full winner on the Dow. Here's the ES trade now. YM, this signal B on the YM has been red hot. Getting some really tough sideways action on crude oil. Just not trending for me. I figured with the report coming out, maybe we would get a nice move down or a nice move up that we could make some money with. You know, coming up to the end of our session. And what I wanted to show Jan real quick is if I go to my strategies tab and I right click and I select new strategy and I select the AI AutoTrader, on the bottom right where it says templates, I can load any one of my strategy templates. And if I load that 2-minute NASDAQ and click load, you can see that the global parameters are the inputs of all of the indicators that the system leverages. We can also put in our trading hours when we would like the system to trade. This is hard coded for Eastern time, regardless of where you are in the country or the world. It's hard coded for Eastern. So this 2-minute on the NASDAQ is going to trade between 9 and 1. When all the conditions are met, it's going to instantly fire a trade on the same bar. If we disable that, which would be a more conservative setting, then we need a confirmation bar, a second bar, to confirm that it is a valid entry. We can control whether it takes short or long trades. If the market's just headed straight down and we only want to take short trades, we can uncheck to take long trades. And this now will only take short trades. Then we have our risk management, where we can we could really put in our risk tolerance. You know, on this session, I'm only really willing to risk $400, and once I make $800, I want the system to stop trading. So as soon as it hits, if you lose 400 or it makes 800, it will instantly close the position that you're in with this filter here. And you'll lock in the profits, or worst case scenario, it'll cut your losses at $400. If you were to uncheck this, then if you're in a position, it will wait until that position closes. Then we can select the days of the week. And then we have our two entries, our signal A and our signal B. The signal A has a number of different filters, and I go over each one of these filters in that tutorial video that I put into the chat box earlier. We don't want it to trade into pivots or area of support or resistance. We have market structure. If we take a long trade, we want the 15 to be above the 50, or vice versa on a short trade. We have our background bias. And I go into what each one of these things means in that tutorial video. Our signal B entry, if I enable that, then those same set of conditions will come out. And these are the filters these are the conditions that must be met in order for it to trigger a trade. And then we have our trade management strategy, which is where we put our stops and our profit targets. We can go to break even at a certain point. We could trail our target. We can go to break even plus or minus if we want to lock in some profits or give it some extra room. And then our data series, we can trade the system really on any instrument and any time frame. And then, of course, you have your account. You have a drop down here that you can put it into any one of your sim or live accounts. And basically, those are the parameters of each one of the strategies. Well, you could do either one, Walter. Me personally, I do both. I help the team with strategy development, and we're always looking for new instruments and time frames to trade it on. Once we've found something that we've tested and is effective, then what we do is we let it run together with a drone. We let the bot run with the drone together. And then it optimizes the inputs of that bot. But before we get to that point, there's some testing that would go into it. In module number 2, really goes into great detail of the incredible indicator that Sergio developed. Along the same lines as the strategy inputs that I just showed, we have an indicator called the MI Market Internals PA signal. And if you look at the settings of this indicator, what does it look like? The settings look identical to the inputs of my strategy. The only difference is, instead of once the conditions are met on this indicator, instead of it executing a trade, what it's going to do is it's going to put a cross on your chart. So it shows you where, if you had the strategy enabled with those settings, it shows you where the entries would have been. So just for a demonstration, if I use my PA signal and I have the signal A entry, and I'm just going to put it on the same conditions basically as our retirement plan strategy. And we have a signal A entry, the signal B is disabled. And we want to be clear of pivots in the volume zones, any areas of support or resistance. And our signal up is going to be a cross. And we'll make it a little bigger so you can see it. And our signal down, a green cross for up and a red cross for down. And we'll just put the signal offset a little bit wide so you could see them. So if I apply that, now every time that signal A, had I used these same inputs on my strategy, because these are identical to my strategy inputs, had I used these same exact inputs on my strategy, which I believe they're very similar, those are where the entries, if I had the strategy enabled, those are where my entries are. For this indicator, these are where the crosses will be. So if I scroll back on my chart, wherever you see those crosses, it could be the background image is preventing it from printing, is what it looks like. Because I would have gotten a short entry right here. So I think a better demonstration of this would probably be if I remove this picture. And I could show my dashboard. Let me make sure the visual is visible. Okay, so now you can see where these crosses are with those inputs that I've just done. These are where my entries would have been. So you can go back and back test those entries to see how well you would have done. Well, this one, looks like a full loser. This one really wouldn't have reached. So the only I see this here is probably a winning entry. So this gives you the ability now to go in and change the inputs to get those crosses by using these different filters, how to filter out those losers. If I wanted to use the market structure or the MA diff, an overbought or oversold market, we want it to be X amount of ticks from the 50. We can use all of these filters in order to eliminate some of those losing entries. But in the video, I really go into great length, a lot more detail. And let me tell you that that retirement plan entry is still alive and well. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap it up. It was really a great session today. Just a quick review of our top strategies. These are the top strategies of the day. The NQ 2-minute continues to crush it. Probably our top strategy is that 2-minute signal A. It's our retirement plan strategy. Up about $1,800 today. $1,800 today, and I'll tell you for the month, or if you go back a few months, it's several $1,000s. I think it might be about $5,000 or $6,000 in the last 30 or 60 days. So the signal A continues to do extremely well. Gold had another big day. With this unrealized profits, it's up over $1,000 as well. YM continues to be extremely consistent. The YM is up about 400 right now. And today's Apex accounts I'm sorry, here's the accounts. With the Apex accounts, those were my positions. You can see all the strategies are in the green. The Apex accounts were one was up 710, one was up 495, another one was up 127. So between all the Apex accounts, about $1,300 in the green today. Crude oil is doing well. But the hottest strategies continued to be the NASDAQ and the YM. The NASDAQ and the YM. Gold did extremely well today also. Gold is up over $1,000 today. So there you have it. It's pretty much with consistency. The YM, the NASDAQ, and gold are the three hot strategies. Okay? So it's a great session today. I kind of got in my own way, as usual. Either myself or Mark will be trading tomorrow. Same time, same place. Mort, I'm going to have some lunch and then I'll give you a call. Give me an hour to 12:30. All right. I hope everybody has a blessed day. Listen, if you want to learn more, the videos that I put into the chat box just have a ton of information. So I hope everybody has a blessed day for the rest of your afternoon. And we'll see you, God willing, we'll see you here tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk tomorrow.